Hello everyone and welcome back to the Foreplay channel. I'm Bella.
I'm Jace.
And today we're diving into a topic that's super crucial in the swinging lifestyle: consent. Whether you're a seasoned swinger or just starting out in your lifestyle journey, making consent first priority and understanding and respecting boundaries is key. This video will be focused on consent and rules and boundaries within your relationship and regarding play and relationships with others in the swinging lifestyle. We won't be deep diving into consent at clubs or events in this video. However, just know it should go without saying that you must always ask first and get verbal consent before doing anything.
Before we jump into details, let's clarify what consent means in the context of the swinging lifestyle. Consent is a mutual agreement between all parties involved to make sure everyone is comfortable with whatever is going on. While we often think of consent in the context of play, consent is important on all aspects of the lifestyle.
All relationships are built on trust, communication, and respect. In open relationships, there are even more reasons to ensure that honesty, trust, and communication is present at all times because of all the external connections outside of your primary partnership. Every individual and couple has their own set of boundaries. The first step is to openly discuss these boundaries with your partner. If you've heard us talk about consent before, you know that we believe it's completely necessary to have your own rules and boundaries set in place that you and your partner follow. A few examples of our personal rules and boundaries are same room only, meaning we don't date or play separately, protection is a must, and we don't cuddle with other partners. Consent starts before even the possibility of play. Make sure you're being open and honest with each person and express what you are and are not okay with, and be able to openly ask others what their personal preferences are. For example, many couples only like group chat so everyone knows that everyone else is on the same page as well. We do have a video about common rules and boundaries in the swinging lifestyle that you can find on our channel that we will also link in the description below.
So when it comes to consent with potential play partners, we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable and we're all on the same page. So what that normally looks like for us is we'll go around and we'll say, hey, what are everyone's rules and boundaries? And then we'll all go through and we'll state what our rules and boundaries are. And we'll make sure they all line up so we know that everyone's comfortable before we move forward with any kind of play. We've had people say that going around and saying, your rules before you get started, before your play, kind of takes out the sexiness of it. And to us, it's literally the complete opposite, because consent is what makes us feel safe, what makes us feel sexy. So we've had, multiple times when we've done this and we've stated these rules and stated everything that we want to do at the beginning, and we've never had one time that it felt uncomfortable or awkward. So don't be worried about stating your rules at the beginning, because to us, it never makes it uncomfortable, and consent is what makes us feel safe and sexy.
Plus, you're asking everyone else too. It's not like you're the only one expressing your rules. You are asking, hey, what is everybody else's rules and boundaries, and then also expressing yours.
So what happens if you guys are talking and your rules and boundaries don't line up? Well, we have things that we like to refer to as hard rules and soft rules, if you want to call it that. And so a hard rule for us is protection only, which a lot of couples, that's one of their rules. So let's say the couple, we say, hey, we use protection. They say, hey, we don't like to do that. For us, that's an immediate no. And we say, hey, this is something that we don't want to do. An example, let's say for a couple that has a soft rule, maybe they have a rule of they don't like to take pictures. And so maybe 99% of the time they wouldn't take pictures during some sort of group session. But let's say they have friends that they're really, really close to. They've talked about this, and the group all comes to consensus of, hey, we're going to take some pictures or videos, whatever it is, and we're going to keep those to ourselves. That is a rule of how a couple could have a rule that maybe is a soft rule, because most of the time they're going to follow that rule and boundary, but sometimes in certain situations, when it's spoken about beforehand, they're able to change that rule as long as everyone's on the same page.
We highly recommend to not change your rules to be with a specific person or couple, or to have a specific experience. Don't ever sacrifice your personal boundaries for yourself or your relationship for anyone else. It's just not worth it, and it will most likely always end in a negative experience. You never need to rush lifestyle experiences, and you will always find the right couple within the right time. Consent doesn't end once play starts. It's an ongoing process. It's key to regularly check in with your partner and playmates to ensure everyone is still comfortable and enjoying themselves. Nonverbal cues can be just as important as verbal communication, so pay attention to body language and facial expressions as well. An example of this is Jace and I are always constantly looking at each other and making eye contact during play sessions and making sure we are both feeling good. We have little hand signals that we'll do, like a thumbs up or like an okay sign. A lot of the times we'll be like, And it may sound silly, but it makes sure that we're both feeling comfortable and we both know that we're enjoying ourselves. And for us, it makes us feel even more connected during these experiences. Also make sure to check in with others during play. It's super common for one of us to state out loud to the room, is everyone good? And always asking, is this okay, before doing something new. It's always okay and necessary to get verbal consent. And all of these things make play that much better.
Handling rejection is a normal part of the lifestyle, and it's something that we're all going to deal with. A lot of times we think it's just very straightforward, and maybe you ask a couple, hey, you guys want to come back with us? And they say no. But it's more than that. You guys could already be in a group session and someone could say, hey, this is an idea of something we have. Would you guys like to try this? And that couple can definitely say no. And it's really, really important that we remember that we respect everybody, we do not push anybody, and we also don't question why somebody has their rule or boundary set in place and why maybe they declined the offer that you gave them. I said, we know that this happens to us, and it knows that at times we are going to have to decline other couples of things. Just remember that your rules and boundaries are always valid, just like the other couples or other person that you're playing with. So it's just important to respect our own rules as well as respecting theirs and handling those rejections with grace, whether you're receiving them or you're the person that happens to be rejecting someone in that case. The other thing to remember is not taking anything personally. It doesn't mean that this is all about you. Maybe this person has something in themselves that is why they declined that. And so don't take anything personally. Just remember, everything here is so everyone is safe and having fun, and that's what it's all about. So just don't take it personally either.
Sometimes unexpected situations can arise during play, and if that happens, prioritize communication. If someone is uncomfortable or wants to pause or stop, respect their wishes immediately. If you feel like something feels off, you can always ask, are you okay? And always prioritize the emotional well-being of everyone involved in the group. The key is for everyone in the group to feel safe at all times. And remember that people can always change their mind. If they felt comfortable at one point with something and then change their mind, that's completely okay. It's all of our jobs to respect everyone and their rules and their boundaries.
Aftercare wise, after a play session, one thing to note is in the swinging lifestyle, a lot of time that aftercare is going to be between you and your partner, and that's going to look a little bit different for everybody. It also is good to note that sometimes, maybe after a play session, everybody is talking about things and just discussing everything in general, but it's really important to connect back with your partner and have conversations about what went on. And yes, maybe some of these conversations are always just really fun about how exciting it was, but also there is going to be times when maybe something happened that wasn't a rule and someone was a little bit uncomfortable, and we can take those situations and look and say, hey, you know what? This may be a little bit uncomfortable. Moving forward, let's make this a rule. It's really important in those times to prioritize yourself and your partner and respect everything that's going on and not be upset that those things happen. Rules can change and flow with time, and sometimes those situations are going to happen. And maybe a rule is a rule one day and then it changes to not being a rule another, and then it changes back to that rule. All of it's okay as long as you're communicating with your partner and you guys are talking about what makes both of you comfortable and you're both happy with how things are going moving forward.
And that's it. Remember, consent is always necessary and is one of the most important things in the swinging lifestyle. Open communication and respect for boundaries are the keys to a positive and enjoyable experience, and we'll say that across the board, a majority of people in the lifestyle follow this to a T. Yes, there may be some rare bad apples that can make for a bad experience, but overall, respect, communication, honesty, and consent are the pillars of the swinging lifestyle, and being in a lifestyle environment with these like-minded people are one of the places that we feel the very most safe and welcomed.
So hopefully you guys were able to learn something of that, and you were able to, have a conversation with your partner and maybe learn some rules and boundaries or figure out things that worked for you. But we just have to remember how important consent is. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe so you never miss we post a video, and if you guys have any questions about this or maybe something that you think we didn't talk about that you think could be really helpful to people, make sure to drop that down in the comments, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!